Yeah.
We are the standard. That's what we
Yeah.
have to understand as leaders. We are the standard. If you do it, they can do it. Now, it's no more of this, do what I say, not as I do. That's not the way it is. Leadership is creating an environment where your young men can be successful in. That's what leadership is.
Man, that's so powerful. I'm going to put those phrases on t-shirts and we're going to sell it worldwide. The standard is the standard. And when you're a coach, we are the standard. That's such an important perspective because when you talk about model, because too many people prepare athletes for moments instead of preparing them for life, right? And when someone feels seen and genuinely cared for, that's usually when transformation begins. Which brings me to the bigger picture. When you look at the next generation of current athletes, older athletes, what's the one mindset, standard, or principle you believe they absolutely must develop if they truly want to become built different and sustain success long after sports are over? Time out. Let me ask you this. What if the gap between where you are today and where you want to be isn't talent? It's how you're training when no one's watching. That's what this studio podcast is all about. We don't chase motivation. We don't hype potential. We build identity through habits, standards, and systems. This is where student athletes, parents, coaches, and leaders come to sharpen how they think, prepare, and perform. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast. Most people aren't lost because they lack talent. They're lost because they lack clarity. What's up, family? Coach Randy here with the Built Different Studio Podcast, where we don't just talk about success, we train it. Mindset, systems, and habits. This is where champions in sports, school, and life are made. Let's lock in and let's build. Today, family, we've got a leader in the studio who understands that football is never just about football. Coach Jason Aubry is the head football coach at Kentucky Christian University. And for more than 25 years, he's been building cultures rooted in discipline, accountability, brotherhood, service, and purpose. But what separates Coach Aubry is this. He doesn't coach for temporary success. He coaches to build men capable of sustaining success long after their scoreboard disappears. Isn't it interesting how the strongest programs are rarely built on hype? They're built on standards people are willing to live by every single day. Coach Aubry studies leadership, neuroscience, culture, human performance, and faith-based development because he understands something most people miss. If you want different outcomes, you need different habits. And if you want discipline to last, purpose has to come first. He's rebuilt programs through adversity. He's led through limitations, and he's learned firsthand that culture can outperform circumstance when people are aligned around identity, standards, and mission. So today, we're talking clarity, we're talking leadership, we're talking habits, identity, accountability, and what it truly means to be built different. Family, help me welcome Coach Aubry, Coach Jason Aubry. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate it. This is very exciting for me. I'm excited to get on your show. I have seen your show in the past. I've seen multiple episodes and everything. So excited to be able to talk with you.
Oh man, we're so excited to have you today. Happy Friday. Coach, before we dive in, I want to start with you, not your resume, not the wins, not the titles, you. For everyone listening, tell us about your roots, your journey, and experiences that shape the man and leader you've become today, because every builder has a beginning and we want to hear yours.
So I think the number one thing that I would go to is family.
Okay, love it.
My family is everything to me. I've been married for coming up on 31 years now.
Wow.
It's my wife, Dana.
Congrats.
Yeah, it's been any coach that has been in it for as long as I have, there's ups and downs. And with that, that's kind of built who I am and how I run my program right now because of the ups and downs, trying to figure everything out. then, I've got 3 adult children. My oldest daughter, Kyla, she's married to her husband, Jake. They've been married for 7 years now. They've given us 3 wonderful granddaughters. And we actually have one granddaughter in heaven, so that I never want to forget her. But and then my son Jackson, who is my number 2, and then my number 3, Kennedy, who just got engaged a few weeks ago. So really, like I said, that's where everything starts with me, family. And right now I'm in Eastern Kentucky, but the last 5 years has been quite a whirlwind for me. We went from the Chicagoland area, where we spent the majority of our life. I coached there for 18 years. I was a high school coach there. Then I jumped into college level. And then I went from Chicago to Colorado to Texas to Eastern Kentucky within 5 years.
Wow. And you're bringing your family all through that journey, huh?
And we did. It was quite a journey. We've kind of scattered since then. My oldest daughter's back up in Illinois. But then the rest of us are still in Eastern Kentucky. And it's been quite a journey. And like I said, it's kind of put me in the place that I am right now, as far as how I build my programs and what I do and everything. So it's been quite a whirlwind.
Got it. Tell me a little bit about before your coaching, more on high school. Did you play high school football?
I did.
Did you play in college?
I did. I played high school ball and was very successful. We had a very successful team, won a state championship as a junior.
Wow.
We were a very successful program. And then
that was in Chicago?
It was in the Chicagoland area. It was outside of Chicago a little bit, but
Got it.
When people talk about Chicago's so big, you say, I'm from Chicago, but you're not even close.
It's like LA, right? I'm from LA, but you're not really from LA.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it was a small town outside of Chicago. And we were a very successful program, and we did very well for ourselves. I did end up going to a junior college, played some ball there. Ended up having a career-ending injury. So snapped my leg in half. It was kind of like the Joe Theismann from our area.
Oh yeah, I remember Joe Theismann. I remember that.
If other people are listening, it's the Alex Smith injury. You've got some that know that one, and some that know Joe Theismann. So that's kind of what happened to me. And from that point on, I just kind of finished my undergrad, got into the coaching profession, and just went from there.
Okay. So I want to share that with our audience members, or emphasize that you've played at the high school level. You've gone on beyond high school at the next level to play, and you understand the importance of education because you had injuries that took away your athletics. So Coach, you said something powerful. Everything matters. The way people speak, serve, respond to adversity, and carry themselves when nobody's watching. Where did that standard come from in your life, and how did those experiences shape the culture you've built today at Kentucky Christian University?
So I'm going to have to say, it starts where my parents really instilled that in me, because I was still in my parents' home when I got that career-ending injury. And I was still, in the mindset of, hey, I'm going to the league. We all thought we were going to the league at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
And here's what I tell my guys right now when they sit across the desk from me and they say, Coach, I want to go to the league. I'm never going to tell any of my guys, that's a stupid dream. Don't think about that.
Sure.
I want every one of my guys to go to the league. And exactly, because that's where their identity goes. Now, the only difference is you need to work for that identity.
Okay.
So that's the difference where I go to. If you're delusional and you say, I'm going to go to the league, but you're hanging out with your boys and not doing a dang thing, you ain't going to the league. But if you say, I'm going to the league, and you're the first one to practice, you're the last one to leave, you're the one that works hard, you're doing what it takes to go to the league. So anyway, going back to my parents instilling, they wanted me to understand, okay, you lost football now. What's next? What are you doing next? What do you have to do? Who are you when you take that goal or dream away from you? And that's where identity comes from. And we talk about that an awful lot, because identity is something that you talked to me about, the Mamba mentality before we got on air.
Yep.
Okay? Yeah. So it used to be Kobe Bryant. And then when he got on the floor and he turned into that Mamba mentality, he changed his identity.
Yeah.
And he believed who he was. And so now he went from Kobe Bryant to the Mamba. And you don't stop the Mamba, because he knew that if he had that mindset and he put the work in, he put the time in, his identity was set. So that's the difference between, I want to go to the league, and then working to get to the league. And then not only getting to the league, but doing what you have to do to stay in the league. Those are the identity things that our guys don't, not my guys here, but
just in general,
society as a whole.
I get you. Man, I think people listening can already feel that this isn't just about football for you. It's about identity. And when identity becomes clear, standards stop feeling like pressure and start becoming part of who you are. Which brings me to this. Coach, you talk a lot about clarity of purpose and how discipline becomes easier when purpose becomes clear. In a world where so many athletes are distracted, overwhelmed, chasing validation, how do you help young men develop real clarity about who they are and who they're becoming?
So that's a great question, because we're trying to win football games. Because that's what our job is. We're supposed to win football games, okay?
Yeah.
However, when you bring these guys in and you tell them that we're going to do certain exercises to make sure that you are the best possible player that you can be, and we start pretending, or I bring in an exercise called act as if, and we start acting like we are already the conference champions. We start acting like we're already in the league. We start talking like this stuff, and we start believing what we're talking about, because within our brains, within our mentality, if we've already been there, our mind sends different.
Yes, I love that. It
hits synapses already knowing that you've already done it. And so now what we're doing is, I'm going to go out on the field, and I already know who I am, and I already know how good how much work I've put in. And now it doesn't matter who I play, because I'm going to play at the top level. And if I play at the top level, the outcome doesn't matter.
Man, that's powerful. Act as if. Act as if.
You know, so where Coach, I got that?
I want to dive deeper into that in terms of your neuroscience. Did you study that? I mean, that's next level. What you just shared about how the mind can impact the body and what you think and what you say and visualization. Did you study that? I know you teach that a lot to your student athletes. Kind of give some background on that neuroscience piece.
So I'm a PE teacher by trade.
Okay.
So that's what I did for 18 years before I got into the college level. Okay. So I'm teaching PE. I'm in the weight room most of the time and everything. And, through that time, I'm thinking, it's all about wins. It's all about the outcomes. It's all about this. It's all about that. Then I get the college level and I'm like, okay, something's got to be different here. Something changes.
Okay.
So I do have kind of an idea of, because I came up with the clarity of purpose kind of name and everything when it was probably the mid 2000, maybe 14, 15, something like that is when I came up with the concept.
Yeah.
So our culture is called the clarity of purpose. And I'm currently writing a book called The Clarity of Purpose that is talking about everything that I'm talking about right here. And it just kind of gives my past and my failures, and the reason why I am the way I am is because I failed so much. And that's a great thing. Yeah. Because failures are not the end. Failures are challenges. Yeah. Because if I didn't fail, then I wouldn't change things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Act As If came from a book called The Success Principles. You ever heard of the book?
I haven't seen that, but I read that. Act as if. So explain that a little bit more. When you go into a practice and you say, act as if what? So you're acting as if you are champion. So then you change the way you do things. Is that how it works?
Okay. So our clarity of purpose. Yes. I'll say yes to that question. But then our clarity of purpose, we have our 6 program goals right up here. They sit right behind me on my desk, because our guys know exactly what they're supposed to do every day. It's be a man of integrity, graduate and have a life plan, Victory Bowl champions, AAC conference champs, NAIA playoffs, NAIA national champions. That's our 6 program goals. However, here's the play off of that within our clarity of purpose. to be clear of what your purpose is. Our purpose is not to win a national championship on that field. Our purpose is to wake up every day and be a national champion in everything that we do. That is our purpose.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what we do. We are national champions in every area of our life. So if you choose to be a national champion in every area of your life, that means on the field, off the field, in the locker room, in the classroom, everywhere you go, you're a national champion. So if you choose to have that as your identity, I'm walking out on the field and I know I'm a national champion. I change the way I practice. I change the way I go through drills. I change the way I act in the locker room because I'm a national champion in the locker room.
All right, let's pause right here for a second. I want to ask you something. If nothing changed over the next 6 to 12 months, would your student athlete be more confident, more prepared, closer to their goals, or still hoping things just work out? That's exactly why Athletic Connect is the primary sponsor of this show, because the difference we see, it's not talent, it's structure, it's mindset, it's having a real system. Inside Athletic Connect, we help student athletes build confidence, discipline, and a clear plan from daily habits to performance to creating a digital identity that actually gets noticed by colleges. And this isn't just basketball. This is for student athletes in every sport who are serious about their future in the classroom, on the court, on the field. So here's the move. Go check out athletic-connect.com and see how we're helping athletes become built different in sport, in school, and in life. All right, let's get back to the show. Man, that just puts my motto to a next level. So one of my mottos is having the mindset, systems, and habits to build champions in school, sport, and life. But if you really put the clarity on purpose of what that means, man, that's next level. So that right there is powerful because so many people are trying to change behavior without ever addressing identity first. And if you did build clarity before chasing results, isn't it interesting how confidence, consistency, and discipline start showing up differently, which leads perfectly into this next piece. So you've rebuilt programs in difficult environments and led through adversity with limited resources. What did those seasons teach you about leadership, resilience, and the kind of habits teams need when circumstances aren't ideal?
Here's what it taught me. The scoreboard doesn't matter. The scoreboard doesn't matter.
That's hard to hear from a coach. And as a coach, explain that to us.
So national championship game a few years ago, Alabama was playing, I can't remember who it was. They were up 50-some to 10. And the quarterback and the center had a misexchange. Something was going on where the quarterback wanted the center to snap the ball. The clock was running down. They had to take a timeout. The quarterback was mad. The center turns around and says, shut up, we're winning. And the quarterback yells at him, it doesn't matter that we're winning. We didn't do it the right way. The standard is the standard, no matter what the scoreboard says. If we're up 50-0 or if we're down 50-0, the standard is the standard. And that's the way we perform every day. But here's the hardest part. When I came in 2023, I have a saying in my book, I didn't just rebuild the foundation. I had to blow up the foundation to then build the foundation for Kentucky Christian to be succtable. We took this thing and I came in and inherited a program that was not good. And we had some not the right people to fit our culture. They chose to come in.
Yes.
They chose to come in and play for me. I did not recruit them. It was the previous coach that recruited them. They came in. They wanted to play for me right away. I set the standard. They did not reach the standard, and they chose not to try to even reach the standard. So about a month into the season, I kicked off about a third of our players. Wow. Really good football players. And I knew from that point on,
and you gave them opportunity to meet the standard.
Exactly. And I knew from that point on, we were going to have a rough couple of years because I'm going to have to rebuild this whole thing. So I either had to choose to build on the unstable foundation, or get those guys out, blow the foundation up, know that we were going to have a couple of years where we may not win a game. I knew it, and I couldn't look at that scoreboard and go, that's what we're going to base our success off of. We got to get rid of that scoreboard. That first year, we went 1-10. The second year, we doubled our victories.
All right, two wins.
Two and
9.
2-9.
Okay.
And then this past year, 5-6.
Wow.
This next year coming up, we're planning on winning the conference championship.
Amazing. I want our listeners to track that, follow that. That's amazing. Coach, I love that in terms of the standard is the standard. And I love that because adversity has a way of exposing whether a culture is real or just motivational talk, right? And the teams that survive pressure usually have leaders who understand service, accountability, and daily habits at a deeper level. So let me ask you this. Decades building young men with mentality, physicality, spiritually, and relationally, not just athletically. What responsibility do coaches and mentors have today when it comes to preparing athletes for life beyond the game?
I will speak to this in one word: modeling.
Okay.
We must model what we want our guys to do. And if we don't model what we want our guys to do, then we cannot be leaders. And I'm talking mentally. Am I growing every day mentally? My coaching staff understands that we are going to grow mentally every day as a staff because our young men are watching us. Sure. Mentally, physically. Are you taking care of your body? Are you putting the correct foods in your body? Are you being smart with what you are doing with your nutrition, mentally, physically, and spiritually? How are you growing every day as a man? Are you growing spiritually? Are you doing things the right way? If we model great things, guess what our young men are going to do?
Follow.
They're going to do exactly. We are the standard. That's what we have to understand as leaders. We are the standard. If you do it, they can do it. Now, it's no more of this, do what I say, not as I do. That's not the way it is. Leadership is creating an environment where your young men can be successful in. That's what leadership is.
Man, that's so powerful. I'm going to put those phrases on t-shirts and we're going to sell it worldwide. The standard is the standard. And when you're a coach, we are the standard. That's such an important perspective because when you talk about model, because too many people prepare athletes for moments instead of preparing them for life, right? And when someone feels seen, challenged, genuinely cared for, that's usually when transformation begins, which brings me to the bigger picture. When you look at this next generation of athletes and leaders, what's the one mindset, standard, or principle you believe they absolutely must develop if they truly want to become built different and sustain success long after sports are over?
I think the one word that I would go to is clarity.
Okay.
What you need to do to not just be successful in your area of expertise right now, but what happens when you do have an injury and you no longer are a football player? Your quote identity that you think you are, I have to move past that, and I have to take everything that I've learned and put that into something now that I didn't know I would have to do. Now I got to go do a job. What does that job entail? Who am I? What are my habits going to be in that job? I need to be clear of the person that I am. And when I talk about, be clear in it, your purpose. What is your purpose? It's got to be something other than the sport you play. It has to be other people. And that's why we talk about service. And that's why we talk about, identity so much. Your identity should not be hooked to a football player. I'm just not a football player. I'm someone who has great habits every day, and I'm disciplined in what I do. Doesn't matter what I do, your environment's going to change. You're going to be a football player sometimes, and then the next 5 years, you might be a stockbroker. And then the next 5 years, you might be something else. But the environment shouldn't change because you're the same person. So I'm still going to bring the same habits, and I'm still going to bring the same standards, and I'm still going to bring the same discipline. The environment's just changed. I haven't.
Love that.
That's the clear piece of it.
No, that's powerful. That's powerful. I love it. Your energy, your gems. Man, I want to play for you, Coach. So last question before we close. Coach Jason, is, man, you shared a lot of valuable tips, strategies, motivational techniques, mindset. Um, I want to open up the floor to you in terms of, was there anything you wanted to share either about your program, something we already covered, something we didn't cover, kind of open mic for you. You want to share anything specifically for our audience members that we didn't cover, or again, maybe something you do want to reemphasize?
Well, obviously, if there's any time that I can talk about Kentucky Christian football, that's
Yeah,
what I love doing, because
sure.
I'm truly excited about what our young men are doing. It's not what they're doing on the field, but off the field as well. And that's why we hit the mentally, physically, spiritually. We want our guys to grow every day in those areas, and I kind of liken it to I feel like I want to feel like I'm a modern day Stoic.
Okay.
I love
Okay.
the way Marcus Aurelius thinks, or
Yeah.
Seneca, these guys that just, because it was mind, body, spirit. And that's kind of
Sure.
what we are right now. We're mentally, physically, spiritually. What are we doing in those areas every day to grow? And so we have a football notebook that our guys use every day. And we have, when we go through these things, we have goals that they have to write down. Mental
Every day.
goals,
Okay.
physical goals, and they go through this notebook, and it's a system that we've put in place to make them great, not just on the football field, in every area of their life. And that's the thing that I'm so excited about. Yeah, we're doing great things on the field, and we
Sure.
feel as though
Sure.
we're going to compete for a conference championship. But the greater things is they are doing things off the field. We just finished up our spring semester, and I just put in all the numbers, everything. We've got a 3.02 team GPA that
Wow.
we had this
Amazing.
year. It's just, it's semester after semester. These guys are just
Stacking,
growing
building.
and growing and
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah.
And like I said, yeah, a lot of times people look at the on the field stuff, and they can look at the website and go, oh man, these guys are doing well, but they don't know the half of it. These guys are growing so much as men, and that's what we're here for. We're not here just to get them to the league,
Yeah. Yeah.
Our job is to make sure they have an identity and they know what their purpose is as men, as husbands, as fathers, because that's what they're going to be. We know
Yeah.
not everybody's going to the league, but most of them are going to be husbands. They're going to be fathers. They're going to be people that have to make decisions for other people. So that's what we want them to grow in. So that's where I'm excited about.
I love that. Coach Jason, I appreciate you for being here today and for sharing your wisdom, your standards, and your heart for developing young people, not just players. Family, this was bigger than football. Coach Aubry reminded us that discipline without purpose eventually fades. But when somebody becomes clear on who they are and what they stand for and the standards they're willing to live by, everything changes. He talked about accountability, service, resilience, habits, faith, leadership. But underneath all of it was one consistent message. Success starts internally before it ever shows up externally. The standard is the standard. Isn't it interesting how people who create lasting impact are usually the ones committed to growth when nobody is watching? Coach Aubry has spent decades building cultures where young men are challenged mentally, physically, spiritually, and relationally. And that kind of leadership matters now more than ever. So whether you're an athlete, parent, coach, or leader, take this with you. Clarity creates confidence, just like Coach said. Standards shape identity, and habits determine outcomes. Family, today's conversation with Coach Jason Aubry was a masterclass on leadership, identity, discipline, and clarity of purpose. Family, if this episode moved you, challenged you, or gave you perspective, it energized me. Share it with somebody who needs it. Coach Jason, thank you for the impact you continue to make. I appreciate you being on this episode. One last thing, just reconfirm you're a faith-based man, right?
Absolutely, for sure.
So I, for some reason, whatever it's been, like the last probably 5 guests in a row have been faith-based men. I'm blessed. And I asked a few of my guests to just kind of say a closing prayer. And I'm going to ask you the same. I feel comfortable asking you. I know it's kind of spur of the moment, but I would ask if you'd be open to just saying a prayer Prayer for me, prayer for all of our listeners, prayer for our student athletes, our leaders, our coaches, our educators. Just a simple prayer to end this episode. Would you mind doing that, Coach?
Absolutely. Can I interject one little thing?
Of course.
So in Matthew 20:28, Jesus said, "For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and lay down his life for many." That is our mission. Our mission at Kentucky Christian University football is to serve others. That's it. Everything that I talk about, Jesus is the greatest leader ever. And that's why we do what we do. So yes, I'll close in prayer now.
All good.
Father, thank you so much for the time that we were able to spend on this podcast. We thank you for the lives that you've given us to that impacts so many people. And I thank you for Coach Randy. I thank you for his podcast. I thank you for the young men that we get to serve every day. I just pray that this podcast and anybody that it reaches, that you will use it for your glory. We thank you for the time that we have here. We thank you for the talents you've given us. I pray that we will use them to glorify you. In your name, amen.
Amen, amen, amen.
Appreciate it, Randy.
And this is where Athletic Connect comes in. Through tools and services like the Victory Compass, Power Hour, Mindset Mirror, Goal Sync, Fight On Mentality, Built Different Mindset, and the College Pathway Intelligence, athletes and families get more than inspiration. They get a real framework for growth, a framework that helps them gain clarity, develop elite habits, strengthen their mindset, and make smarter moves for the future. If today's episode resonated with you, don't just listen and move on, apply it. Watch and listen to the Built Different Studio Podcast on all major podcast and video platforms, including Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. And if you believe your story, your leadership, or your journey can impact the next generation, visit www.athletic.connect.com. That's with an IQ, and fill out the application to be on the show. This is bigger than content. This is about building champions in school, sport, and life. Handle today with intention. That's how champions are built. Fight on. Remember this, family. Talent might open the door, but your mindset, your habits, and your discipline decide how far you go. So keep showing up, keep building, and keep choosing the harder road, because that's the one that makes you built different. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast.